After 10 years of serialization, Classroom of the Elite is one of the most popular light novels currently published. With 30 volumes and 3 seasons of anime, Classroom of the Elite has a lot of fans from all over the world. However, if there is a fan, there will always be a hater. And fortunately, there are a lot of reasonable reasons to dislike Classroom of the Elite. For example, the protagonist. While he is not a good-for-nothing guy, Ayanokoji lacks charm and personality. He didn't have enough trauma or life experience that could build his character, and that made him empty. Even after 2 years of experience in high school, there was barely any change in Ayanokoji's character, and that made the story kind of monotone and predictable. Not to mention Ayanokoji is also too overpowered to the point no one in the series could hold a candle against him. He forced himself on people, and treated everyone as nothing but a tool, and that's made him really unlikable. Ayanokoji's character is not the only problem. There are at least 3 main reasons why some people cannot bring themselves to like Classroom Elite. Let's take a look at it one by one. A lot of people found Classroom of the Elite from the anime. Even though it's not that bad, no one will ever include it in the list of greatest anime of all time. The very first scene literally starts with a quote from Nietzsche, which gave the impression that the anime would be some kind of psychological anime with a deep exploration of human nature. Not to mention Ayanokoji's first monologue in the bus scene was talking about equality, whether humans are truly equal or not. However, the one waiting for them are just boobs and a lot of perverts. I'm not going to lie, it's quite a disappointment. Not to mention there was nothing really interesting from the first few episodes. With a necessary fan service and a slow-paced story, it's not a surprise that a lot of people stop watching the anime and never bother to check the light novel. The ones who chose to watch until the end were mostly the light novel readers or the ones who were caught by the fan service. Season 1 is considered a bad adaptation, and didn't get another season for the whole 6 years. However, even when Seasons 2 and 3 were announced, we once again got a not-so-good adaptation that caused a lot of rampage even among the fans, and Season 4 is not looking good either. And yet, the popularity of the light novel keeps rising even with the bad anime adaptation. The rise in popularity made a lot of people aware of Classroom of the Elite and decide to watch the anime. However, it brings an even bigger trouble that made people dislike Classroom of the Elite even more. The reason is the last scene of Season 1, the tool monologue of Ayanokoji where he reveals his true nature for the first time. It went viral and was shared across many platforms. Even the ones who didn't watch Classroom Elite anime most likely know about it. It did well for Classroom of the Elite popularity. However, the ones who were attracted are not genuine fans who were interested in the story, but the people who only care about the edgy side of Ayanokoji. Let's call them Ayanokoji wannabes. Ayanokoji is not a complex character. He is a perfectly logical guy with a tremendous ability. He is very smart and very strong, but chose to hide his ability. His lack of character is similar to that of a typical isekai anime protagonist, which makes him perfect for a self-insert. A loner who didn't consider anyone as his friend, hiding his true ability, and somehow surrounded by women. I could see why a lot of people like to imagine themselves as Ayanokoji. It's normal to idolize a cool character, but thinking that you are him is a completely different level. In a lot of video about Classroom Elite, there are a few people who always comment something like Ayanokoji is a perfect human, or Ayanokoji is literally me. Even on YouTube, you could always find a video about how to think like Ayanokoji, or how to be emotionless like Ayanokoji. Believe it or not, Ayanokoji already has some kind of cult where people idolize him to an extreme degree. The one who cannot differentiate between anime and reality start to imitate him, whether it's trying to act emotionless or refuse to socializing. It's even worse if they start to consider everyone as a tool, but cannot even find a single good thing about themselves. If you love watching anime and see how Ayanokoji changes people's personalities for the worse, you will definitely think twice to start watching it. That kind of fan makes it uncomfortable to have a discussion, even if you genuinely find that series interesting. And if they start to force their opinion on you, it just makes you more reluctant to watch it. It's not like Ayanokoji is the only one with a cult. A lot of anime characters have some die-hard fans, but Ayanokoji is different compared to Johann Liebert or Sasuke-san. First, Ayanokoji is completely perfect in both mind and muscle. And second, Ayanokoji is a human without any supernatural ability. Ayanokoji feels more perfect and reachable compared to other anime characters, and that's what made people go crazy on him. However, it's very unfortunate that a lot of people misunderstood Ayanokoji character. Ayanokoji is indeed a peak of humanity knowledge, but he got all of his ability because he was born and raised in the White Room. Kinugasa clearly told us that it's impossible to become Ayanokoji unless you spend your entire life as a lab rat. And yet, some people still thought they could become like him, but ended up just imitating his social awkwardness. The other thing that people seem to misunderstand is how Ayanokoji tries to change. Ayanokoji wants to feel emotion and wants to know how it feels to be just like an ordinary person. He starts to value his relationship and wants to believe that he could be defeated. Even a character like Hikigaya from Origairu builds more relationships and starts to change his view, and yet people just stick to the first volume version of them. Ayanokoji is the same. He tried to be a better person, and yet people just adore the edgy version of him. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who don't even care for the story, and just waited for Ayanokoji to throw another edgy quote. And now imagine if there are a lot of Ayanokoji wannabes gathered in one place. There are a lot of reasons to like the Classroom of the Elite series, but it's not always a good reason. Other than Ayanokoji wannabes, some people stick because they like the fan service, or like to ship Ayanokoji with their favorite girl, or like to scale Ayanokoji with characters from different anime, or just genuinely interested in the story. However, with a release schedule every 4 months, the topic of community discussion could become really wild sometimes. It's not often for an anonymous account to discuss which girls have the best thigh, or some people want to be dominated by Bunny Chabashira. Anonymity tends to bring out people's true nature, so that kind of topic is just to be expected in the community that likes the series full of beautiful girls. However, the popularity of a series is sometimes also affected by the community. Just like My Hero Academia fandom, which got a lot of hate for their excessive boys love pairing, the Classroom of the Elite community also gets a lot of hate for a lot of reasons. Either it's the excessive fan service, or the annoying fans who keep screaming that Ayanokoji is the smartest anime character of all time. The hatred toward the community could affect the series itself, because not everyone could separate the series with the fandom. Classroom of the Elite already has a lot of bad aspects that could even make a fan decide to stop reading, and the community just made it even worse. The anime, Ayanokoji wannabe, and the community itself. I don't think this is a problem that could be solved, but at least we could try to act more wisely and keep all the bad stuff for ourselves. If not, in the worst case scenario, Classroom of the Elite will lose its popularity and get axed without a proper ending.